his family. Heinrich Muhlenberg becomes Henry Muhlenberg, although he would still preach in German, so in his community he would still maintain his German name. But in his sons as well, okay, Peter is the same spelling, but Friedrich becomes Frederick, and Heinrich, the junior, becomes also Henry. And if we look, we just heard from the Declaration of Independence, 4th of July 1776. Of course, Pennsylvania State House in Philadelphia is where the Continental Congress comes together, and then finally, after days and weeks of negotiations and formulations, come up with a final document passed and distributed to the printers of the city in Philadelphia. John Dunlap, a Northern Irish printer, prints the first broadside of the English version. But then, immediately in the first day or two, right off the bat, 2 German printers also set out to come up with a German version of the Declaration. And it's printed here in the first chapter. I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of small. It's in the old Gothic type. And a quite accurate and good translation, considering that it was done very, very in a hurry. Because it's probably appeared within 2 or 3 days after the English Declaration of Independence and was distributed widely. And the 2 people who were responsible for the printing and probably also the translation were Melchior Steiner and Charles Kist. And when I tell you that the Germans altered their names, these 2 German-born immigrants had done so as well. Steiner, usually spelled with EI, had sometimes would use a Y in his name, so as to make it sound or seem more English. And Charles Kist basically had an altogether different name. His name in German had, or his names I should say, had been Karl Jakob Sigismund Thiel. And if you think about the initials of this, C-I-S-T, it's Kist. So he used his initials for his last name, which sound perfectly English. That's just to illustrate also just how pragmatic these German printers and German immigrants usually were, because it was simply better for business. You could get, printing jobs from English people too, because they would not be like, okay, this German maybe doesn't even speak my language. Why would I print my English sermon or my English pamphlet or my English whatnot, maybe my English advertisement for my horse wagon business with this German guy. I want to take, let me just check the time here. I want to take a leap now and go to these stages where the revolution is won. Because we're going to have one more passage of the early stages of the American experiment that features some of the Muhlenbergs and some other people you might know from American history. Maybe just one more point about what these sons of Henry Muhlenberg are doing in the course of the war. Peter becomes a very successful officer. Up until, I think, Major General in the end. He is present in several battles, Germantown, Brandywine. He is also present and commands a regiment in Yorktown, the final battle, the Siege of Yorktown, which is also described in the book. And his brother Frederick, as I mentioned, at the same time takes to politics. First, regional politics in Pennsylvania. The name Muhlenberg comes in very handily because his father has made this name very popular. So Muhlenberg, the people follow the name. And it's for the political parties of the time, especially in Pennsylvania, it's very, very important because there's a large ethnic vote. Germans vote for Germans. And so that's why Muhlenberg, and we'll learn a little bit more about him in this next passage, becomes also so successful. I think he was quite a good speaker. He became the Speaker of the House, but he was also he had a good rhetoric. And yeah, he then went on to have quite a good political career for his time. And we're going to join him now on April 3rd, 1789 in New York, and a few others. And that's the